Hello darlings, welcome to my latest video where I'm going to show you how I made this little Sailor Moon tiara. This is specifically from the princess episode, which I want to say was in episode 3 where they attend that little ball. This one was a very fun one to model, and then it was a great chance to bust out my, at the time, new resin printer. Printing this was rather simple and easy. It was the cleanup and painting part that I would say took me the longest. One of the most important aspects of resin printing is cleanliness and being aware of your safety needs. When working with this resin, you do not want any of it to touch your skin. It can be extremely harmful, especially if it cures on your skin. It can make you sick, so wear your gloves, be very mindful of your workspace. You also do not want to breathe in the vapors from this resin curing, which is why I have that little air purifier that sits into my machine and it just recharges itself. Once a piece has been cleaned up, I personally clean mine in 99% isopropyl alcohol because that is a good ratio to actually limiting the chemical reaction of the resin. Once everything is clean and scrubbed, I'm able to pull off the supports, give it another little scrub. Ever since doing this one, I have since gotten a actual wash and cure machine, which has helped out a ton for these little projects. But you want to be very thorough cleaning your resin prints. After a final inspection, she appears clean enough that I can get her underneath the UV light. This light is going to make sure any leftover resin on the print is going to cure and it won't be toxic for me to pick it up. You could also sneak peek a set of my Pluto keys right up there. While that's curing, I go through and I clean up my work spot. Now let's get into sanding. Once again, safety is extremely important. Even though this resin is fully cured, I still don't recommend getting it on your hands, as well as the dust caused from sanding resin is not something you want to breathe in. For this reason, any of my resin prints will always be wet sanded. This way you don't get resin dust going up in the air, and I find it also makes it easier to clean up the prints as I go. For anything I'm doing metallic, I always use a black base because it helps amplify the colors going over top. I do not yet have a spray booth, so I do my spray outside in the sun where I can make sure everything's going to cure nicely. For my silver color of choice, I will be using All Clad 2 Bright Silver Candy Base. I especially love this one because it's one of my little airbrush paints and the shine of it is so beautiful. Thanks to the power of time-lapse and editing, the painting of this does look really fast, when in actuality it took me a few hours just to paint this, as the All Clad candy needs to be applied in very thin coats and not be built up too quickly. To achieve the pink heart in the center, I took some of my regular clear UV resin, added some pink mica powder for some extra shine, and poured it into that center groove. Once that was done, I did need to re-level the tiara as it doesn't sit perfectly level. As you saw when I was cleaning it, it does have a lip at the back which is predominantly used to attach a comb or some other fastener depending on what the client wants. Once the base of pink was applied, I put down a small coat of just the UV resin to act as a clear coat on top. Let that cure, and of course, put down my air purifier right next to it. And that is the finished tiara. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have many more to come. See you next time, darling.